Well, hello there. This is Ina from Taproot Tarot, and today is my 47th birthday. And while it's a difficult time in the world to be self-indulgent, I have planned for quite some time to treat myself on my birthday with some tarot decks this year. So I'm going to do that regardless of things continuing to fall apart. So I hope you can take a little moment of joy with me. I haven't posted in a while since I actually got sick on New Year's Day and have been struggling to recover from that, just some respiratory gunk. I had mentioned that I would do a walkthrough of my Yule gift to myself from Santa. And I haven't done that and probably won't because I found an excellent walkthrough from a channel that I just found. I don't remember their name, but they know way more about Titans than I do, so I'm just going to link to their walkthrough. I was also going to try out a new New Year's spread, different from the 12-month type spread that I've done in the past, which I got from Luna at Water Moon Cards. And the nice thing about having a birthday on January 13th is if I happen to get sick or for some other reason don't participate in my usual New Year's traditions, I can always just do it a couple weeks later on my birthday. So I have decided that I'm going to do my year ahead spread later today, and I'm going to use the Othrysian Tarot because the full card is Janus with the title Passage, which I think is so cool. So I'll be doing that on my own and starting a new journaling practice, which I had meant to start at the beginning of the year, but again, I've just been recovering, trying to get better. So I will link that walkthrough of the Othrysian Tarot, as well as a video from Luna on her New Year's spread or card of the year spread, which I really like. So you might remember that I took 5 months of no buy with a couple of exceptions to fund a couple Kickstarters that I had planned on funding after following their progress on Instagram. Those being the Rosenwald Tarot by Mississippi Tarot King and the new Minchiate deck by Amparo Aguirre, which I'm so excited for, both of them. And I also got the Othrysian Tarot. But other than that, I've been very strict no buy, even to the extent that when a deck came up that's normally like $70 to $100 was accidentally priced at $10 on Thrift Books, I passed it over because I'm no buy and I didn't want to add to the clutter of decks. I was feeling a little overwhelmed by having acquired too many decks too quickly and really did want to give attention to the decks that I had. It was also about saving money. Of course, $10 for me would not have broken the bank. But the other aspect of it, other than saving money, was to just reduce the overwhelm of decks that I was experiencing. Since 2025 was the first I really intensified my deck collecting. Now, I will say I had been building up a wish list in preparation for my birthday, and that had been my intent, was to really treat myself for my birthday and decide which were my priority decks from my wish list. But I have to say I really went a little overboard. I haven't even gotten in all of the ones that I ordered. So this is extremely self-indulgent and a bit much for a birthday haul for me, I think, but we're having fun here, so it's okay. And I'm probably going to go no buy again for quite some time because I've really filled out some of the gaps in my collection now. I had to start my video from this direction because this is uncalled for. Like, this packaging is not what I was expecting. Look, that is how big this Dolly Tarot is. Now there are many editions of the Dolly Tarot, and if you order this one by Taschen, just be warned, this is what you're getting, man. And I got this edition, because the book is supposed to be excellent, but I have to show you. Whoops. It's just out of hand. Okay, look at this. This is the book. And then you take the book out. There's no way I would have been able to place my camera high enough to show you this. So here's the book, which is supposed to be really excellent. I haven't read it yet. About the history of the Dolly Tarot. And then the deck itself is inside here. This box it's cool, but it is a little jagged. So I might need to do something about it so I don't scratch the cards. So that comes wrapped in plastic on the outside, and then the cards within the golden box are also wrapped. So I'll just show you. It's like full color, big nice pictures of these cards. And I recently learned, I had been wanting the Dolly Tarot for quite some time. This was one that was on my list. But I just recently learned from Tarot with Mims that Dolly was the one who was commissioned originally to make the tarot deck for the whatever James Bond movie that The Witch's Tarot was actually made for. I had no idea because I love The Witch's Tarot, Tarot of the Witches by Fergus Hall. And I didn't realize that it was supposed to be the Dolly Tarot originally. And I don't know what happened with that. My guess is gonna be maybe Dolly just didn't finish it. It took maybe a little bit too much time. I have no idea. I haven't read this book yet. But Fergus Hall apparently stepped up and made a majors only deck for the tarot for that movie, which ended up being the Tarot of Witches, which now does have pips added to it. So here's this box, and whatever the reason is that Dolly didn't make the deck for the movie, he decided to then go ahead and finish the deck regardless. And you can see his self-portrait there on the Magician. And it's one that Christine Payne Towler talks about a lot as being one of the Continental Tradition decks. And I think that has more to do with the astrology of it, which I don't pay much attention to. But one thing I was surprised to find out upon getting it is that it's a collage deck. Who knew that Dolly did collage work? Maybe everyone knew that. I was just out of the loop. I was not aware, but it's a very cool deck. These cards, I would say, are maybe a little bigger than standard tarot size. And I'm really looking forward to diving into the book and just learning more about these cards. I think it's probably my first art deck created by a super famous artist. I have a lot of art decks created by artists for the purpose of tarot. But Dolly is kind of in a more famous league, I suppose. So that is the Taschen edition Dolly Tarot. Oh, I just had to leave and come back. I was delivered a bouquet of flowers from my parents. That was so nice. So I might be a little off track, but I just wanted to say this book by Johannes Fiebig is in German and English. So you can see one column is German and the other is English. That is one thing off my list. And I've got some decks that are both Yule or Christmas time presents that were given to me or which I bought with gift cards, as well as some birthday treats that I got for myself. So I'm going to turn this camera around and we will look at those. I made my first US Games purchase because I really wanted this medieval cat tarot. I had my eye on Los Scarabæo's Cat Marseille, and looking at it more closely, I, for a number of reasons, decided I didn't really want it. But this is so cute. And the cats are like, I love their expressions. Look how pretty they are. They're just very cat-like, very no-nonsense. It's super appealing to anyone interested in historical traditions, but it's also kind of made to be appealing to Smith-Waite readers as well. But look at the clothing, like the detail in their fur tunic there. Like, how cool is that? And all of them have these lovely head wraps. Now, it is some digital art that's very early 2000s. I think this is from 2004. It's reminding me a bit of the digital animation shows that my kid would watch when he was little. Like, this is very much Backyardigan vibes to me. Does anyone remember the Backyardigans? Super cute show. But also super early 2000s digital art. That being said, though, it's a lovely deck. I really enjoy it. And while it is a pip deck, it's got some vignettes that are reminiscent of Smith-Waite cards, but not in a way that's super overt, like, you know, the Two of Coins. We've got a more traditional medieval juggler there. The court cards are very elemental in the Golden Dawn tradition. The aces all feature like the animal theme of that suit. In the case of the coins, we have some rats, which I think are pretty cute. And you can see there are rats on the coins themselves. And it was the art of the aces that kind of really convinced me to get this deck. Look how cool that is. This one's probably my favorite. Kind of a iguana, skink, dragon kind of critter with a dragon or lizard egg on the end of the wand. But the cups one is pretty cool too. So yeah, it's an absolutely lovely deck, and the triumphs are not numbered, so you can put them in whatever order you like. It came in the traditional Marseille order, with Justice at 8, and Strength at 11. So I really look forward to working more with this deck, and I wanted to kind of build up a collection of decks that might be appealing to others as I start practicing reading for others. And just to get the discounted shipping, I added a couple of inexpensive decks. This one from Patrick Valenza. I've seen it around, and it's just super humorous playing card deck. A little bit culturally insensitive, but some pretty funny dark humor, which I enjoy. So this is the Royal Mischief Transformation playing cards by Patrick Valenza. It's got some pretty nice, like, mocha semi-gloss gilding on it. It's kind of cool. And those are the backs. And then this one is just for fun. Very inexpensive, and again, rather than paying more for shipping, I added a couple of inexpensive decks, but this is a World War II era reproduction of a playing card deck made in the United States. And this playing card maker, L.I. Cohen, was the first to create a method of printing which could include 4 colors at once. So rather than printing the outline and then later on adding each individual color with stencils, these are all printed at once. And aren't they beautiful? The pips are very handmade looking. Aces are plain, although it does include an extra ace of spades as a title card. And the quartz are just gorgeous. It has square corners. It's a very cardboardy satin finish, reminiscent of a thinner version maybe of an Iverno deck, and really beautiful backs. So I just thought this was a super cool historical deck to check out. It's marketed towards Civil War reenactors, and it was made originally in 1860 something. There's a replica of the text stamp originally used for this deck. So that's my US Games order. Some vintage decks that I treated myself to. This is one I've been wanting for a long time, and I found it for a decent price on eBay. I have a bit of a Stuart Kaplan collection. This, I think I read, the Angel Tarot, was the first full tarot deck made in Japan. Please correct me on that, but it has some significance for being the or one of the first tarot decks made in Japan. But it was commissioned by Stuart Kaplan to be made by card makers in Japan, and it is gorgeous. The colors are just lovely. It's from the early 2000s, I believe. And it's been on my wish list for quite some time. You can see the suits feature both tarot and playing card suits. But it remains a fairly traditional Marseille deck, other than some coloration updates, as well as including French pips. And it has some Swiss pattern components to it as well. So super cool. Definitely has been on my wish list for a while, and I was glad to have found it for a decent deal on eBay. And then AV Tarot Market had a couple of little treats for me. This is an old Il Monighello deck from 1987. And it is a black and white printing of the Montaigne didactic images, which weren't cards originally, but later adapted as cards. And also weren't by Montaigne. But I love it, it's so cute. It's super tiny, the backs are plain, and it includes one of the cards that was influential to Atea, in all likelihood. So my only other copy of this, and of course it is mistakenly labeled as a Tarocchi here, my only other copy of this is the Lo Scarabeo colorized version, so I thought it would be nice to have the more original black and white engravings for reference. It's in this super cute little book pouch thing. And then this is one that I have seen and been fascinated by. It is a Grimaud deck, the Celtic Oracle, the Grand Oracle Celtique. And it's made by somebody of Breton descent, as in the French Celtic enclave. And it's pretty neat. It's got 4 suits total, including a suit of triumphs. There are only 18. Some of them do correspond with TDM pattern triumphs, such as, well, combat correlates pretty well with victory or the chariot. This looks pretty reminiscent of a hermit, and that of the Wheel of Fortune. A judgment card in place of the Hanged Man. and then Avalon for the death card. So there is some overlap, but not for everything. And then the 3 pip suits represent 3 Celtic cultures, Ireland. And it's got 18 cards total per suit, including 9 pips and then 9 court cards, with absolutely gorgeous art. And then thistles for Scotland. And an ermine pattern for Britain. How cool is this? And it does come with a book in French and English. It comes with a mat, a reading mat as well. And this is just something I got for fun as a little treat. Next is the Tarot Emblemata, which is one I've been wanting ever since it came out mass market. And I highly recommend the mass market version. It's a beautiful production. In my opinion, the book is printed a little more nicely. So in the indie version, there's this image here, but without text wrapping around it, so the text is all on a separate page. So it's a little more efficiently printed here. And some people have concerns about the cardstock, but I'm here to tell you that it's glorious. I love it. And if it's your first time getting a linen deck, I totally relate, because my first artisan deck, when I held it in my hands, I thought, oh, this is so flimsy. There's no way that I'll be able to actually use this deck. But it's just because I wasn't familiar with linen cardstock yet. And so this is just a nice linen cardstock, bendy and flexible, but also perfectly sturdy. So it is a deck in the Smith-Waite tradition, so probably one that I would use more as an oracle. The gilding is quite nice and seems sturdy, so I'm really happy with this and looking forward to exploring some medieval and Renaissance emblemata. Here is another deck that's been on my wish list for quite some time, Conjure cards by Jake Richards. The box is really cool. It is cardboard, but the texture and durability of it make it seem like it is intended to feel like a wood crate, which is super cool. It does not have any kind of magnetic closure though. It's got Luna moths on the back, which I love. And it's just a really interesting set of playing cards, which I thought would be cool to explore. And it is part of a series of books, also by Jake Richards, but I opted for Divination Conjure Style by Star Cassis, who I follow on Instagram. I thought this would be a super cool companion to this deck. So lots to explore here. And this, of course, comes with its own guidebook by Jake Richards. This one I'm so glad it came in time because I have a story to go along with it. It has a nice magnetic closure. I'm sure most of us have seen this, Le Tarot de Gulliver. The book is in French. But at some point, I was trying to find a deck that I knew that I had put on my wish list, which had a very specific Queen of Batons, and you know, she's one of my favorite cards. I'm handling this very carefully because it has a reputation for chipping easily. So if anybody has recommendations for what I could edge this in that would also be protective to prevent chipping, but even if I have to be super careful with this, I appreciate having it just for the art. It's so cool. Very much love it. But back to the Queen of Batons. She's one of my favorite cards. And I had the image of this particular Queen of Batons who had brown skin and black flowy hair. And at some point I remember searching through all of my various wish lists, you know, on Etsy and all of that, trying to find which deck was that. I absolutely couldn't find it though. And I chalked it up to, well, it must have just been maybe an Etsy creator who's paused their shop or something like that, because I just couldn't find it. I looked through all the diverse Marseille decks on MPC that I had saved and all of that, and I just absolutely couldn't find it. But I couldn't get this Queen of Batons out of my mind. She was just so cool. And then, like I mentioned, I received some gift cards for Yule from Amazon, and so I was scouring the depths of my Amazon wish list and was confronted by this deck, and I thought, oh, I haven't looked at this one in a while. And she is not in any of the promotional images for this deck. But I looked at the reviews, and lo and behold, somebody posted a picture with their review, which included this gorgeous Queen of Batons. She's got beads, or perhaps rattlesnake rattles, on the end of her hair. She's got 3 arms, and I think she's just magnificent. And I was so excited to finally find her. And I think this was shipped from France through Amazon, which was nice because I didn't pay any extra tariffs or anything like that. But yeah, this is one of the things I went ahead and used my gift cards for. I was so excited to finally find this deck. Look how gorgeous it is. Super love it. Not sure if I'll be able to use it without chipping it up though. Let me know, is there some kind of a paint or something I could edge it with as opposed to a marker that would actually seal the edges and prevent some chipping? You can see there's already a bit of chipping happening, so it doesn't take much. Or do I just live with the fact that it's going to chip and use it anyway? Or do I preserve it for the art? I'm not sure yet, but as soon as I saw that Queen of Batons, which I had been just searching for, I knew I had to get this deck. So that's Le Tarot de Gulliver by Julie Lapierre. And now for the grand finale, and the one I've been waiting for. This is a box from Tarot Arts, and I have never done an unboxing of one of their packages before, but I wanted to save this to open up on camera because the way they package your order is an absolute treat. And that's another reason that I wanted most of my birthday present to myself to be from Tarot Arts, because their packaging just makes it extra special. This is my first time opening it. We got some protective paper here. It looks like they've used tissue paper. Normally they use like cute little crinkly bits, but it might be because it's a bigger order that we've used tissue paper instead. So not quite as festive as decks that I've ordered from them in the past, but that is okay. Each one is individually wrapped, which is so sweet. These are decks that have been on my wish list for so long. They are pricier decks. They were definitely a big treat for myself. And you can see they're all individually wrapped, which is so nice. Super colorful and cool. So I'll take this out of the way and we'll look at them each individually. Up first, we have an Yves Renaud deck. Okay, this is fun because it's like I get to open individual little birthday presents. So this is the Tarot by Pierre Cheminade, and I came across this pretty randomly. I don't even remember how, and absolutely fell in love with the faces on this deck. I won't do a complete walkthrough today. Oh yeah, this is one of the ones that comes with the traditional wrapping paper too. And this is a Parisian card maker who traveled and settled in Italy to make cards, but made sure to communicate his French heritage in his packaging with the dolphins for the Dauphin and the fleur-de-lis. How gorgeous is this? It has a beautiful handmade feel to the paper. And I will be doing a comparative walkthrough. I already have one planned. But look at these beautiful faces and the very sophisticated printing and coloration compared to a lot of decks of the time. This is somebody who is later in their career and so had a lot of experience under their belt. Let me show you the Hermit. Oh, look at this Hermit. Just lovely. Can you believe it? So I will do a comparative walkthrough, but not too long ago, Johnny the Librarian posted a walkthrough, and I will link that for you if you are eager to check it out in its entirety. Looks like I got number 909. Love that. And it has some super cool backs. Nice details. So this is the Pierre Cheminade, 1742 by Yves Renaud. I honestly can't remember what this is, so let's find out. Oh yes, all right. So this is the US Games Pierpont Morgan Visconti Sforza. And I have Lo Scarabeo versions of the various Visconti Sforzas, or Visconti decks. And I have the Madrone, I think it is. That's US Games. And I really like the US Games versions because they aren't gilded, which makes them less delicate, I think, than the Lo Scarabeo versions. I love the Lo Scarabeo versions, but just for handling and looking at, the US Games ones are also super cool. And they're all a little bit different. And then it has a Stuart Kaplan book also, which is another big reason that I bought this. So this is one that's been on my list, even though I have no lack of Visconti decks. I had found the other US Games one on sale from Phytonosis, and then put this on my wish list as well. And Tarot Arts happened to have it on sale. So you can see they're still large decks. This one happens to have portraits of Bianca Visconti and Francesco Sforza, which is pretty cool. And so they're the large size of the Lo Scarabeo versions, but typical US Games cardstock. So if it's something you want to be able to look through or use without having to be delicate with it, it's a super nice option. Look at this, just gorgeous. Now the other one I have is an example of one that has 6 court cards. I don't think this one has 6 court cards. Let's double check that. So we've got the King and Queen, and the Knight, and the Valet. So yeah, this is a traditional 4 court card version. The other US Games one, as well as one of the Lo Scarabeo ones, has 6 court cards because it also includes an equestrian or feminine rider, as well as a feminine valet or handmaiden. And I really like the boxes that these come in as well. It opens like this. The Lo Scarabeo ones have foam, very protective, fancy box, which is super cool, but this is just more practical and usable. And another long-time wish list deck. You can probably see what it is, and I love how they coordinated the wrapping for me. This is so sweet. They wrapped each individual one. I love this. We've got a copy of the Mamluk cards. Oh, it's got a lovely information book in color. Super cool. It comes with this fold out too. The creator is Xerxes or something. T-Z-E-R-E-S maybe. I'm not seeing it on the outside. Let's see if there's a title card. Here we go. So there's information if you'd like to get this, but Tarot Arts has had this in stock, because otherwise you really have to order overseas if you're in the US. And these are a later, fancier version of the cards from the Arabic and Persian world, which are the basis for our 4-suited playing cards today. And all of the courts are representational. These are polo sticks, which were interpreted as batons in Europe because I don't think they knew what polo was. And the swords are scimitars with the curves. We've got chalices. This might be a court card. I don't know. I'll have to study up on this. Here are the coins. The court cards are symbolic, without faces, for cultural reasons. So those are something I definitely need to look in the guidebook and remind myself of. Aren't these gorgeous though? These are something I've been wanting for quite some time. I was really excited to see that Tarot Arts was carrying them. So they're really long and narrow cards. Here's the back. And I would compare these to being similar to US Games cardstock. Absolutely beautiful. In a nice 2-part box. Finally, the biggest treat of them all is my first Giordano Berti deck. Now I have ordered a book, a Metelli book, directly from Giordano Berti, and he wrote such a nice handmade note to go with it. I will show that in an upcoming video. I also have his book on tarot history, which is so nicely translated into English now. Super well written. It's been a really great read so far. But this is one that has been on my list for so long, and I remember when I first saw it, I was really into collecting unusual pip decks, not necessarily within the Marseille tradition. But when I saw this, I thought this is way more expensive than any deck I would ever purchase. And it's also handmade, and I just, at the time, didn't feel like I was the type of collector who would want a handmade deck that you might have to be careful with. Well, times have changed. Now I'm willing to spend a little bit more on decks that I value, especially when I am limiting myself just to the decks that I really, really want. And my mindset has changed as well on how to collect tarot, and I'm perfectly comfortable with having decks that I don't necessarily use all the time or even at all, but are in my collection as a reference piece or just to appreciate. So this is the Tarot of Occult Energies from 1946 by Jean Charasso, I believe that says. And the surviving copies are in black and white, so the coloration has been done by Giordano Berti. This has been in my wish list for so long, and sometime right toward the end of last year, this version of it in the 2-part box rather than the pricier art box, which looks like a book, this went out of stock and I was devastated. But then I remembered, oh, there's an art box version too. So I double checked and saw that the art box was still in stock. So I put that on my wish list instead. I was a little bummed because I didn't really want the bulk of the art box, and it's also like another 30 bucks or something like that. But it is a limited edition, so I was just glad that some version of it was still available. And yet I held out. It was tempting to maybe order it ahead of time to make sure it didn't run out, but what I had told myself during my no buy it period was if anything goes out of stock before my birthday comes up, I'm just gonna live without it, and that's fine because I absolutely don't need and also can't afford all of the books on my, or all of the tarot decks on my wish list. So I'm kind of letting fate do some of the deciding for me. Well, I'm glad I waited because by the time I was ready to put in my birthday order, it had switched around. The art box was out of stock, and this one was back in stock, and I'm so pleased. Oh, and it's got a handwritten note by Berti. This is so lovely. Isn't his handwriting to die for? And it says, "Dear friend, with Tarot of Occult Energies, a charge of positive power arrives in your hands." Ooh. "Now it's up to you to use that power to overcome any difficulty and improve your life and that of other people." Wow. "Wish you all the best, Giordano Berti." Isn't that lovely? Wow. I absolutely adore that. And his decks are available on his website as well as his Etsy shop as well. But it's so lovely that Tarot Arts and other US-based merchants also carry it. It comes with a bag and a booklet edited by Giordano Berti. And it has a little bit of history of the deck in English and then some card meanings. Lovely booklet. Look at this nice bag. Oh, and it's got a red velvet lined box. This is so lovely, and it is a handmade box. So I don't have very many handmade decks. I think my Othrysian Tarot might be considered handmade. Oh my, this is lovely. I've heard that his decks are just lovely, and oh my goodness, they sure are. So it is satiny to the touch, but a little bit rough. You can kind of see a satin sheen on it. Rough in the sense of feeling papery in a good way. I want to protect this deck. And I'm forgetting some of the history on this, but we'll flip through a few of the cards. And I might do a more in-depth flip through of it later once I have a chance to read the book and remind myself of the history. La Papeza, absolutely gorgeous. A winged empress. Isn't this just beautiful? So you can see very much 20th century continental occult influences, but still rooted in tarot tradition. And the coloration that Berti chose is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, this is a star in the background with a hermit card. How beautiful. I'll just go ahead and show you these. Look at the coins falling out of the Hanged One's pockets. Badass cape on this death card. And it's labeled. This is a very cool choice on Bertie's part, the rainbow. I love it. I feel like the note that he wrote for this is a magical incantation. It just really imbues some powerful vibes to this deck. Gosh, how gorgeous is that? I'm so glad he chose to colorize this because it's an amazing deck. Ooh, a butterfly instead of a bird. But I think having color to it does it more justice. Gosh, this cardstock is absolutely phenomenal. So beautiful. Look at the drama and the movement of this angel card. And the handwriting is from the original cards, I believe. And it's beautiful. Just gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I can't even tell you how long I've been wanting this deck, and I'm so pleased. I'm so lucky to have this. Here's an information card at the end. Looks like I got number 245 out of 888. So magical. Listen to that. And we'll flip through these pretty quick. Simply stunning pips. Oh, and these cards are just smooth as silk. Look how they're moving. Oh my goodness. I'm blown away. Look at this Queen of Coins. Just completely stunning. This has been in my wish list for a long time, so it's been a while since I've read up on this deck. Apologies for not having more background information on it for you, but I will be bringing this out again, I'm sure. Simply magnificent. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, Bertie's color choices are brilliant. Like, just imagine this in black and white and see how much power and depth is added because of the coloration that he chose. And you can see some influence from the Utapakar style pips here. You know I'm a fan of that. Stunning. Wow, look at her. She's so badass. So confident. Very fashionable Valley of Swords. Oh wow. Intimidating Knight of Swords. Excellent. This is an amazing deck. Wow. Beautiful handmade paper feel. Edges are unfinished, which I love. Sorry, I just received a call about my Wi-Fi being fixed, which is great. That means I'll actually be able to upload this video for you. But I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, what a magnificent deck. I'm so pleased, and I feel so privileged and lucky to have been able to treat myself like this to something that I've been wanting for quite some time. And you will see this deck again if you follow me, because I will read up on the history a bit and do it full justice. Well, that was a whole lot of fun. Thank you for indulging me on my birthday. I really appreciate it. And I hope this was entertaining for you to kind of see some treats and have a vicarious little treat for yourself as well. You can kind of hear that I'm still a bit congested, so once I'm fully recovered, I will get back into creating some videos that I have planned and talk more about some of these decks that I was so lucky to receive today. Thanks again so much for your time and presence today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!